So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen. Thank you all. So thank you all for giving us this opportunity to let early childhood help support you guys. Again, Mindy's going to be joining me a little bit later when we get to kind of a Q&A for any parenting struggles or questions or concerns you might have. So we have tailored a presentation for you today. This is something that was actually presented at a couple of conferences this year. As some of you know, we are a Help Me Grow affiliate that supports Missouri statewide. Help Me Grow is an organization out of Connecticut that offers us technical assistance to help us do the work that we do to help children thrive in Missouri. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see. Okay. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because I wanted to focus on our Q&A period. But as you all know, you already know a lot about ParentLink and what we do. Again, our overall mission is to engage with you, engage with all families in Missouri, so that we can reduce ACE, what we call ACE, or adverse childhood experiences, so we can promote optimal development and make them create bigger humans that make a difference and an impact in their worlds and ours. So you all know how dedicated we are in our work. Again, we're a Help Me Grow affiliate, and we are part of the new college at the University of Missouri. A lot of you are already familiar with the makeup of Missouri. We're a very rural state. We have a high poverty rate, and we do try to concentrate our work in those most underserved communities. And a couple of those are in the southeast and central Missouri, where Yvette works, where we try to have navigation services. This map is a little outdated. Our funding has changed just a little bit. So we're not currently directly serving all 8 counties in southeast Missouri, but we are serving the majority of those dots that you see. Again, I'm not going to dwell on the poverty rates too much, but just know that we're higher than the national average. And so again, we're working every day to meet these challenges in Missouri. Most of you already know our services, so I'm not going to dwell a lot on these. You guys know that we are available 7 days a week. With our Warm Line staff, our amazing Warm Line crew, who also answers the Kin for Kid line. And then we have other services that we we're contracted out for the state maternal and child health line. We have our library, and we also serve every Department of Correction facility in the state. Okay, so on to our developmental screenings. So these are for you kiddos, or the kiddos 0 to 6, your littles, from Mindy's poll. Thank you, Mindy. A few of you do have kiddos in this age range. I know we have screened a couple of kiddos that you all have and have actually offered rescreenings. So thank you so much for utilizing our free screening service. If any of you have any questions after this or would like your kiddos to be screened, we can do that via a couple of different methods. We can have you take the screenings online, or we can do them over the phone with you. We can Zoom with you, however you want to do that. If you don't have a smartphone, it's best to do that over a regular phone, and we can do that as well. So we do offer 2 screenings right now that are online. Again, we can do them over the phone. The ASQ3 is for global developmental domains, and then the ASQSE stands for social and emotional development. And all that is it's an expansion of one of the domains in the ASQ3, and we'll get into that in a little bit. The other thing I wanted to mention, it's not on this slide because it's brand new, but it's not online. It's in person. Again, we can do it over the phone or through Zoom, and it's called the ESQ. And Mindy and I are busy rolling that out. The ESQ stands for Environmental Screening Questionnaire. And again, it's only for 0 to 6 years of age. Let us know if you have any questions on that. But what research has found is that environmental concerns in the home or within family functioning can also affect a little one's development. And a lot of you are probably already aware of that, but they did make a formal screening. It is in person for a reason, so we can really get a good snapshot picture of how we can help support you and your little ones. So I've already kind of gone into the basics of what each of these screenings provide. If you want more information, please let Mindy or myself know after the presentation. But again, so the global domains for the ASQ3, we look at communication, which includes language and speech, gross and fine motor skills, problem solving skills, and personal social skills. So how attentive is your kiddo? Do they check in with you? Are they engaged? And that personal social domain has been expanded to the next screening, the ASQSE for social and emotional. And that focuses on, it really hones in on the young child's ability to calm and to transition. If you guys have little ones that, it might be difficult to transition from the breakfast table onto preschool, or let's say they're working a little puzzle or a game or activity and it's time to go to school or it's time to go to the grocery store. If they're having complete meltdowns, those are the things that we're looking at. Of course, any toddler is going to have meltdowns. That's normal. What we're looking at is how long it takes for them to recover from that meltdown. So those are the types of things that we're looking at, their feelings and how they demonstrate them. And again, how they follow directions and your instructions, and just how they connect with you. So that's what that area is all about. The unique thing about ParentLink and our early childhood programming, and we are unique in the state of Missouri as well as other programs in the nation, because we talk about this at the national level, and that is our robust follow-up and referral piece, our service piece that we offer. Mindy and I follow up with every single family who screens a kiddo in the 0 to 6 age range on the ASQ. We follow up even if the results are typical, because we think that's important. Also, we may have kiddos scoring in the typical zone, typically developing for that age interval. So let's say we have a 2-year-old and their scores look amazing, but they have had a recent traumatic event, or mom and dad may have just split, or they're going through, a major transition. Then that child is gonna, even though they're developing typically, they're gonna have some concerns that may affect their development in a month. So again, every family is different. Every child is different. And so we try to meet that child and family where they are. So do keep that in mind. These screenings are only, as good as that current age on the day that the child was screened. So that's why if there are issues or concerns that the family presents to us, then we're certainly gonna, check in with that family and maybe offer a rescreening to make sure things are on track. The screenings take about 10 or 15 minutes to complete. Again, you can go to our website at our child developmental screening page, or you could check in with the Warm Line, and Warm Line staff can direct you, or you can call, you can email or call Mindy or myself, and our contact information is available at the end. So I mentioned Help Me Grow model. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but these are the components of the Help Me Grow model. So this is really a representation of our system, and it's continuous, meaning that a family can come into the beginning in the green area right here where we engage with you and go through connections of getting screening, and follow up. And then of course we do all the nerdy stuff and analyze that data. But the central access point here, that's ParentLink. And that's where you enter. And so this is continuous because a family may enter this several times during that 0 to 6 year old age range. So just know that it is continuous. And so it's not a one-stop, one screening, one and done screening system. So again, our main goal is to connect with you. These screenings are free. Again, we provide lots of follow-up and monitoring of your child's success, and then reconnect with you as needed. We're not going to bother you if you don't need us, but we're certainly here if you need us. All right, now this is this is our little swag bag that Mindy and I put together last summer for our early childhood customers, and we have provided this at events, as outreach events, as kind of an incentive bag. We work with WIC a lot. And so this is an incentive bag that's available to all of you. If you'd like to screen one of your 0 to 6 year olds, you're going to receive one of these bags, and you can see all the goodies in here. These little knitted caps, I wanted to note, these are knitted by offenders who knit for us in every Department of Corrections office. We have connections that they ship us hundreds of these little baby caps that they knit during their activity time. Mindy has purchased first books for littles that we put in the bag. We have a learning toy in there. They're stackable cups that are bathtub safe, and lots of great child developmental information. Those child ID stickers that go on the back of the car seats. Should you ever be in a car accident, a first responder can look on the back of that car seat and be able to identify who to contact if you're not responsive. We work well, like I said, we work with WIC, so we have a lot of CDC information on milestone matters. So lots of goodies. Again, our main goal in early childhood is provide referrals and linkage and equitable access to every child in Missouri, no matter where you live. Again, remember those remote areas, 99 counties out of Missouri are rural. Our game is to provide access to every single one of these families. This is the fancy slide that Brad helped us make for, we participated in a research day. And these little red dots represent every city that ParentLink has had an engagement in. So we've met all but 4 counties as far as engaging in the past 2 years. All right, so we're at the time 10:38. Yvette, I hope I'm on track. So Mindy can come on cam if you would, if you're not already. I believe you are. What we'd like to do is open this up to the ParentLink team. As you all know, we are a very diverse and well-trained team in all different areas of human development, family studies, early childhood, special education, counseling. And while we don't perform therapy on the warm line, we are well trained. And so we, depending on how old your child is, we wanted to open this up to 0 to 18 or emerging adulthood. Hit us with your best shot. Just throw the questions out there in the chat. So at this time, we'd like to entertain any questions or concerns. Again, back to the grief packets we have for young children. We have some Sesame Street grief kits that we can ship out to you for your littles. Should you have any type of grief type situations that occur. Again, we also want to support you as caregivers. Let us know if you have any questions, concerns, special education needs. A lot of us are well versed in the IEP world. Anything you got, we are all about positive behavioral supports. We love, turning negative or bad behavior type situations into more positive situations so that you can address and respond versus react.
April, this is Yvette.
Yeah.
So I, a lot of time during mindfulness and sometimes during our small peer-to-peer support groups, we talk a lot about responding rather than reacting. Could you maybe share some examples of that, or maybe what some differences may be?
Sure. And Mindy and Amy, feel free to jump in there. So, a basic general example would be to check yourself first. Even if you need to go have your mindful moment in the bathroom, what we don't want to do is ever react when we're angry or mad. And trust me, I mean, I've got 2 grown kids. They were teenagers. They were littles. I had, one, I'm not going to label which one, but one of them at 3 years of age, that was their naked year. They wanted to go everywhere in public naked. Well, that's tricky. And you have to pick your battles sometimes. And I really did. And I have the other child who will never forgive me for taking them up to Stephen's equestrian center in their car seat, naked. They had a blanket, but they were naked. And they had a friend with them, and they claimed that the friend never talked to them again because it was my fault because the 3-year-old was naked. Well, she was safe. She or he, they were safe. Again, you just have to pick your battles. But again, that was my way of supporting their need to be naked. Behind the scene, they had a sensory issue. They had a sensory concern. And again, if it were the grocery store, I would have reacted differently. But again, check yourself, take a deep breath, use Yvette's mindful moment, and react by, I like asking questions instead of reacting. If you see tears or hysteria, or the situation has been exacerbated by other things outside of, oh goodness, just identify the feelings. You seem so sad right now. Can you tell me where those tears are coming from? So take that approach. And Amy and Mindy, go. You're up.
I'll share too. I really like the responses versus reactions. And I think for littles, I'm talking preschool age and toddler age, when they do something and you respond, they imitate what you do. So if a child falls down, if you act, oh, you fell down, get up, they're going to be excited. But if you respond with, oh no, are you okay? They're going to start crying and be hurt. So instead of doing that response, just reacting, just like you fell down, making it a statement and really following their lead instead of initiating your own emotion to get that response. Sometimes it's hard. Like a routine that one of my children and I got into was every night we would go into his room and we just have the lights were off and we just talk. And he seemed to talk better at night. And he shared with me a story. And I'm kind of glad the lights were off because I literally did one of those mouth open, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's telling me this. What am I going to say? But it was great that the lights were off because I completely forgot to check my facial emotions and really just learning to take deep breaths, doing that mindfulness, not responding right away, and just listening and then thinking about it and then choosing how you're going to respond later. But it's really important to just let them be heard during those middle years. And I am just now like smack dab in the middle of teenage years in my house. I have a 15-year-old, almost 16, and a 17-year-old. And something I am really working hard on is really listening to them and not responding with what I think they should do. A lot of times I want to help, but in my desire to help them, they're just not feeling heard. And so I've really had to stop and really just listen to what they say and, feel what they're feeling. And that's something that's been new for me that I'm learning is like, oh, that was a hard day. I have one of mine is being a little bit bullied at school. And so dealing with that and not just offering all these solutions, but just listening. And then I give them a few days and then I'll go back and say, hey, I've been thinking about what you said. Would you like to know what I was thinking about, and letting them have that power of, do they want to hear some of my solutions or do they want to deal with it? And being okay with letting them figuring it out and letting them be okay with, Mom, that was a dumb idea. That's not going to work, and I'm okay with that, so that's my response to responses and reactions. If anybody has any questions, just let me know, and then I'll turn it to Amy.
Okay, that wait time's always that tricky, how long do I wait? And I'm a counselor and I struggle with that. So I just echo what you guys said, meeting children where they're at, they do echo our responses. I was, thinking of a time when I actually had maybe a negative response because I was overly stressed and I thought about, and then I saw my child do the exact same thing. And I was like, oh, and so that's kind of what came to my mind when you guys were talking about that. We do the best we can, but, just, doing the best we can, supporting them. It's really important too, to provide your children, that sensory relaxation routine, those kind of things too. I think we kind of forget that sometimes, but yeah, just that time to decompress is really important. So, and for us too, as parents and caregivers.
Thank you, Amy. And, I think the bottom line is that we're all human, just like our kids and the kids that we care for. And it's so important to be gentle on ourselves. We may not always have the answers, and that's okay. But the most important thing is just to, like Mindy said, to let our children know that we are present, we are there for them, and that it's always safe to come in and chat with us. I know that driving to school, or I'm thinking about that, lights turned off, or no eye contact, sometimes is helpful. We've had some of our most engaging and deep conversations, driving back and forth to school. Sometimes when it's in a carpool and there are other kids involved, it gets a little tricky when those provocative topics come up. But, you know, I think we can use those as touch points for those of you old enough to know about Dr. Barry Brazelton. You know, to just use those moments, those awkward moments. I like the dinner table. I'm one of those. I like drawing pictures. If it's involving human sexuality or you know, the awkward topics, I'm not opposed to chatting about that at the dinner table. I think, you know, why not? You've got the family present. If the kiddo is comfortable chatting, or sometimes I've noticed a couple of them, you know, just kind of fade out, and then it's you and the child that has the issue or concern. But also, you know, again, giving that time and space to kiddos, that they know you are available and they can come back. You know, you can recheck back in, like Mindy said. I think that's great. Anybody else have anything they want to share from the group or from staff? Thank you for having the courage to bring that up. And you know, again, we're human and we all do that. I mean, I've been told by my family, Mom, or from spouse, do you realize how expressive your face is? And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be, but it's my face, you know, because I am a very expressive person. And so, yeah, no, you are spot on. I totally hear that. And again, I think it's okay to, yes, Yvette, body language. I think it's okay again to be gentle with ourselves and just know, oh, you know, try to catch it. You know, I don't know. At one point during those toddler years, I had a rubber band, you know, like a snap band, where if I caught myself, you know, just little things that we can tweak. Mindy has her hand up. Yes, Miss Ditto.
I do think it's important to, because, you know, even being experts in this field, April's right, we mess up all the time. We're human. And I do think it's important to own that with our children, you know, and just be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. This is what I've done. I messed up. I made a mistake," you know, and showing them how to fix it. Because sometimes I think we have to be perfect and we don't want to show our children that we make any mistakes. But then we're also not showing them it's okay when they make a mistake. And then we create these children who strive to be perfectionists. And that's just so anxiety ridden to have to be perfect. So teaching them that, hey, you made a mistake, it's okay. But when you make a mistake, we have to fix the problem. So I'm going to fix my problem because this is what I did. And you can help me by doing this. You know, like if you don't like it when my face does this, be sure to tell me. You know, giving that communication and that engagement with your child helps build that up. And it helps them learn how to take responsibility for when they make a mistake and they own it. And they're like, oh, okay, I've got to fix this. What do I need to do? And hopefully building that up, they'll come to you to help them solve their problems instead of trying to figure it out on their own also.
I love that, Mindy. And I will just add that I've been known as a parent to offer do-overs of my own behavior. So when I've caught myself or when I've checked myself, I have offered in the past, and sometimes I still do with my adult children, I'll say, you know, I'm not really pleased with how I handled that. Can I have a do-over? You know, can we do this again and just kind of go through the scenario? And I offer the same thing for them. My kids are opposite sexes, so and 5 years apart. So we didn't have a lot of conflict or turmoil, but we did use our basement as the courtroom. And so one thing that we did is, like, the 2 or 3 times they had like a big brawl fight, I would say, oh, no, go down to the courthouse, go downstairs, work it out. If you guys need a mediator or an attorney, come back up and I'll be the judge, I'll be the attorney and solve this for you. And every time I did that, again, it was probably like 3 times. All 3 times they went down to court, they came up friends and had solved it. So I do think it's important that we give ourselves and our kiddos do-overs. You can always call our amazing Kin for Kid line or warm line number, or you can email us. And that's it. So thank you guys so much for allowing me to chat with you guys, with our team.